Oh my God, you guys, it finally happened. Joe Biden has dropped out of the presidential election. And I am just probably the happiest American on the planet right now because the last 3.5 years have been detrimental to my personal savings, to my personal stock market accounts, let alone what it's done to the country. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I am no fan of Joe Biden, but his policies in regards to transgender children and saying that the most loving thing you can do is to transition a child, which means basically give them double hysterectomies and sodomize them and give them hormone blockers. So when you think about that, that's when I started making a huge stand against Joe Biden because it wasn't just affecting the stock market or my crypto portfolios. It was actually affecting children who would have non-reversible surgeries on their genitals, and it would have been something that is irreversible. And he was a puppet for the left, and he was going to be and has been the most progressive president that we have ever seen in our lifetime. This news has been breaking on and off for the last 3 days. A lot of it was fake news, but once I turned on the TV and I knew that it was real, actually just before that, I made the updates on YouTube Shorts because apparently YouTube Shorts is the only thing that gets views. A lot of these uploads only get 3-4 views, so we'll see. But anyways, it's such a great thing because he fully endorsed Kamala Harris. Now, Kamala Harris is horrible when it comes to ratings, 32% lower than Joe Biden's 39%. She also cannot keep a train of thought or sentence. And, they're going to say all these things about Trump being misogynist, but he beat a woman before, and he's going to beat Kamala Harris. And if it's an open convention where the delegates have to cast their votes, it's going to be big, big news for the future of the Republican Party having to go against a delegate picked candidate instead of the United States people picking the nominee. And of course, the voters are going to vote for the president. But to pick the nominee, it's going to be at the convention if it's an open convention. So just keep your eyes on the news, guys, please. If you have kids in the room, have them watch with you because this has not happened since Lyndon Johnson because of people's backlash of how he handled the Vietnam War, which he was detrimental to the Vietnam War. Everyone says Kennedy started it, and then they blame Nixon for escalating it. But escalating the Vietnam War, Kennedy started, was not what Nixon did. He actually de-escalated the war. And it was Lyndon Johnson who did the full out, we're going to beat the Viet Cong with numbers rather than logistics, and that's why he surrendered his presidency to his vice president Ford. Now, since this is the biggest news of the year, okay, it follows the lawfare against Trump. They tried to put him in prison. They tried to take away his businesses. They tried to give him 34 felonies. And then someone probably from the Biden team tried to assassinate him. And the reason why I say that is because the shooter was a transgender male who, well, he had pictures in drag. We don't know if he was for sure transgender. He was confused to say the least. And they're now just finding 3 overseas bank accounts. And this just comes weeks after the Iranians threatened to assassinate President Trump. So who knows? They could probably find some lone wolf operative. But even if he did stay by himself, and this was just purely based off his ideology, this is what happens when you take someone who is so pro-transgender and calls Trump a threat to democracy. Now, the Black Party is going to be split. Do we vote for the first Black woman president, or are we going to vote for the new 50 Cent? And the new 50 Cent is probably going to win. Anyways, guys, I'm tired of people my age and even younger only being able to get part-time jobs that pay $1,000 a month when the cost of living is $3,000. It's absolute crazy. There's no way that people can make in this economy. Whoever it is, even if it's a Democrat president, their policies are going to be a lot different than Joe Biden's because those people are actually going to be making the decisions rather than it being some talking points puppet like Joe Biden was. I mean, I had a lot of people say that they wish the president well with his COVID diagnosis, but I personally prayed for his removal because he has destroyed this country. And he had a inauguration where the first words that came out of his mouth was half of America was extremists and systemically racist, and half the country were extremists. And even Kamala Harris says that we are extremists for voting for Donald Trump. So it's like I said, it's breaking just 30 minutes ago. If you're tuning in live, I am very optimistic for the future of America. I was just looking at apartments in Paris because things are so bad here. You can't afford to live, eat, even if you're paid $4,000 a month. People are living paycheck to paycheck. So do you want to make $4,000 a month and live paycheck to paycheck in America? Or do you want to buy a house for $20,000 and retire the rest of your life in Paris? So that's what I was debating today. But now that Joe Biden has dropped out, that's probably not going to happen for me. Anyways, guys, I'm very excited. I can't wait to hear what the rest of the world has to say and the rest of the country has to say. A quick update on the YouTube channel. I did a live stream last night and it was supposed to upload the entire video, but it just didn't upload. So I think I'm going to continue to do live streams here on Young Republicans and then upload the video to YouTube, because it's a matter of getting the full message out. And when you do live streams on YouTube, it cuts out half of your message and gives clips of your live stream and not the entire thing. So if you do a 30-minute live stream, you don't see that on YouTube. You only see the aftermath. So yeah, the White House, I think, is going to be free from Joe Biden come 4 months. And this was a talking point that people were saying was conspiracy, all the news networks, but they were giving Joe Biden the ability to show himself having dementia in that first presidential debate. And they did it before the convention so he would not be stoned down as the nominee. So I've been saying this for years. All the early voting that happens in America is to lock in your presidential candidate pick before he screws up and changes your mind. Everyone who voted for President Biden now is going to be having to either recast their vote or their vote won't count. And that's part of the Democratic strategy as well, to get your vote locked in for a Democrat, even if they screw up, like they lose a debate, they leave the White House, or the opponent gets assassinated or attempted to be assassinated. Anyways, I love talking to you guys. Some of these videos get 500 views. I really like to know your points of view as well. I try to answer as many comments as I can in the comments section. Someday I would love to have a studio, but it's just me in my apartment, so I can't really build that right now. But it's going to be a very big day. I'm probably going to do another stream, let's just say coming in 3-4 hours, see how everyone reacts to this. All right, see you guys later.